Call the park board meeting to order here. Do we have any citizens input? No. Delegations.
I'm sorry.
Any additions or deletions to the agenda? No. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hey, motion carried.
For those of you who wanted to see your names larger, they aren't quite in lights, but they're larger.
See how large your bills are.
I'll motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Approve November financial reports.
Campground bills. Biggest are always energy. That's the first round. There's the second round. The other is software and software support of the registration company. T-shirts for programming. Similar supplies. Thomas probably knows right off the top of the head whether it's coaching or whether it's materials or what it is. But new HVAC unit above the room that has the playground in it. Again, utilities. Credit card. Food license. Utilities again. Supplies for concessions. Light poles at Monroe Park and Hitchcock. Utilities.
What's that right there?
LT companies would be the work that was done over at Cadwell on the infield. They were the actual sod company. See it down there. Now to revenue sides. I'm gonna have to back off one. Usually I get my screen to look at, but my screen up here is blank, so I have to depend upon my mouse moving in unison with what the screen is showing me. Not a whole lot for revenue this time of the year at the campground, of course, other than the state income that we got regarding the easements and the likes and the sign replacement out there. Shows we're about 93 1/3% in terms of revenue year to date for the end of November in terms of what we had last year. Part-time staff for the year was very similar to last year. That is, of course, done for the year. And that large sum, as we talked about, being there for the storm shelter that will not get done next year. That was a carryover in revenue from FEMA grant. Salaries about 90%. That puts us right in line with ending up the year where it needs to be, with another month to go. Current expenses, we aren't as high overall. Rec Center too, we had some outgoing employees, and we had one who didn't get replaced until several months into the year. We had a retirement in January. That's why there's a leftover there. And incoming new ones didn't make or don't make what outgoing made. Supervision is where I'm at, and it was budgeted to have an administrative assistant in there as well. That did not get changed because that happened after the budget had been approved last year, was the retirement. Revenue. Outdoor pool. Rec center this year compared to last year. Cadwell concessions compared to budget compared to last year. That's why we don't want to part with something like that. But there is expense to that concessions as well. But we are above water on it. Anything you want me really to slow down on? Look at utilities this year compared to last year. We've got a month to go. Look at our one water bill for the outdoor pool. Came in at $72,000, and last year it was 47, I believe.
Yep.
And we did calculations on that. It's not only that we had an increase in water cost, but we had fewer closed days, which means we had more pool use, which means we had more back flushing, which is water just going down the drain to rinse the system, and it all adds up. And even days where you have rain, that adds to the pool. You don't have rain, it evaporates. So where we at year to date, right on track. Questions?
I'll make a motion to approve the financial reports.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Department reports.
Go ahead, Thomas.
We got a swim meet coming up this weekend, so we start tomorrow. It's a little bit smaller than it has been in the past. They switched a weekend, and it coincides with, I think Vermillion has one too with a new pool, and I believe Watertown has one as well. So there are going to be about 100 swimmers at the rec center over the weekend, which is still substantial. You know, it's still a lot of kids. So we're getting prepared for that, and it's really fun. It's been really good to work with the Riptide. They've been awesome. Christian, the coach, is amazing, and you know they're very receptive to any ideas that we've had. And then moving forward with a partnership, I mean, we couldn't ask for a better partner in the rec center. Programs are doing great, and Ethan's really coming into his own. You know, it's his first year. He's 6 months into his first full-time job. So he's been excellent, and Adam and Aaron on the floor have been a wonderful, and Aaron's been a wonderful addition to the rec center. So everything is rolling along.
We'll touch base on one little one, pickleball. His coordinator would love to get going a pickleball instructional league for kids and whoever else might want to be involved. So it's, I don't want to say give and take. It's not even a struggle. It's a matter of rec doesn't want to step on toes of pickleball association. The pickleball association doesn't want to just take over something, yet they don't want to get committed to doing something every day, but somebody will assist with providing some instruction. It's not going to be tough for them. It's a matter of getting them going and knowing what the rules is, and just get them going each day. And perhaps our own coordinator might say, you know what, this is so much fun and so easy, I'll just do it, versus expecting somebody else to be there. But we're looking to grow pickleball beyond just adults that are playing, even more so for kids too.
I know the I don't know about the middle school, but I know the elementary schools are touching on pickleball now too. So
Yeah, I saw Jeremy was doing it in the Gertie Bell gym.
yeah,
quite a few times actually. And you know, Ethan's big thing with that is he is literally trying to grow the sport, and we definitely are not looking to step on anybody's toes or take any opportunities away from Pickleball Association. It is purely just how can we help, how can we fill in gaps, and he has a really good growth mindset, Ethan does, for programming, and that's so the pickleball is one. There's a lot that are on our list to try and enhance in the community.
And I did clarify it on our website as well, because there was some misinformation going around stating that the pickleball courts belong to the Pickleball Association. That's not the case. They will have some scheduled or dedicated times for Pickleball Association, much like tennis does when they come on the courts. They expect that our league times are here. They pay user fees for that, much like a baseball team pays to be on the field during their time. So that's what happens at Pickleball Association. I've indicated as well on the website, if somebody wants to play during that time, contact the Pickleball Association and pay their nominal user fees to be a part of that organization and be within that competition group as well. It's not isolated to say this is us and you can't be in. Roger, anything you want to touch base on? Learning the ropes.
Learning the ropes. Me and Jesse Slimgan and myself are settling in our new roles. We have now hired a replacement for Jesse at the soccer complex.
We'll start 1 week.
22nd is when he will start. Our other newer employee has come a long ways. He's fitting in well. Doug Stewart, I don't know if you guys have met him.
He splits his time 60% with arena and 20% or 40% over at parks. Golly, I'm having trouble with math again today.
He's fitting in well. We're behind, so we're still working on getting snow equipment ready and fixed and serviced as we can.
Why don't you touch base a little bit on what crews do for snow removal in terms of your involvement, Steve's group's involvement, and overall what they have to do in the city?
Well, it's always been Steve is in charge, and us over at the sports complex have always had a certain area pretty close to the ice arena that we covered. That area is probably going to grow a little bit this year. We have taken some of the old snow removal equipment from Hitchcock and are now we're now going to be expected to cover a little bit more ground than in the past with everything, as far as snow removal with everything growing. Steve's crew, or Steve himself, he's still in charge of it, but
So he'll make the call when it comes to assistance with public sidewalks and trails and parking lots.
he'll pretty much make the call with everything other than, we'll make the call around the ice arena or during the day, if we see something, we see that we need to go out, we'll go out during the day without Steve calling us out. But as far as calling us after hours for call-in or anything like that, that's all up to Steve for all of that.
But this last weekend with Steve gone out of state, Roger got to make some calls.
Yeah. I'm probably going to make some more too before it's over with.
And then if they end up hauling snow by a truck, that's another call, and the guys are all on call for that because they're required to have a CDL. So they may haul for street department in terms of snow removal by a truck.
So we'll be maintaining a little bit more equipment than we used to at the sports complex for snow removal. I've been preparing for some large projects coming next year, or at least getting started to prepare on those as far as I'm concerned.
And one happens to do with new storm sewer going from the 12th and Wisconsin area, and it'll go past Cadwell Stadium on 13th, which is a street that goes past there. So there'll be 48-inch storm sewer going through there all the way out and creating a new detention pond at the end of Cadwell practice fields right before the trail goes along the 37 bypass. So they will be torn up for a short bit, but we're assured that the road will be closed up again come state tournament time. But there will be a little bit of a detouring through parking lots for youth tournaments and the likes. There will always be a way to get to Cadwell. Sorry to cut you off, Roger.
No, you're all right. We'll have to change our turf maintenance plan and schedule on Cadwell, and hopefully we'll add to our program everywhere else as well and try to improve the turf. We struggled, significant struggles this year with irrigation. Um, Trying very hard to make sure that goes better next year. The Exchange Club is working on their shade cover for the area where they sell concessions during
But
the
they
state
have more
amateur tournament.
covered area south of the stadium itself within the asphalt there, asphalt and concrete. And that's not permanent structure, it's a combination of framework and
Yeah. We were trying to get a couple more projects done outside, but not 100% sure we're going to get those done now.
there's two more larger ones up here that we didn't even touch base on. The parking lot in front of the arena is scheduled to double next year. All that grass area that's around the marquee sign out there is scheduled to turn into parking lot. And then the roof is scheduled to be replaced next year on the entire arena. And part of their requirements, much like any other roofing job, is that each day when they finish up, it needs to be watertight. So they need to make that work so we don't have water running down insulated walls onto the floor inside or whatever else. Go ahead. You were on Ice Arena.
We're we're finally getting into a little bit more time on the ice, shaving, edging, trying to improve it, smoothing it out, make it better playing surface. The middle school started coming over during the day for skating. Hockey and figure skating are all doing their full schedules now. We've got 32 games scheduled for the remainder of December. Have a busy weekend with a squirt jamboree this weekend. Hockey's seeking to add another locker room for the coaches of the girls program. I know that it's been brought up. I just mentioning it so that everybody's aware that that's their intention. Ice rentals have picked up since Thanksgiving. They've been slow. Open skate's been very slow. There's been a few busier days, but it's all slower than last year. Well, we've only had 11 bumper car rides as of when I made the report.
There is something that you're working in conjunction with the Hockey Association next weekend. Normal open skate on a Saturday would be in the afternoon. We'll move to the evening from 7 to 9, which was on Facebook yesterday, along with it'll go to the North Rink to have lights and sound system for rock music to be playing during that open skate time. Same price, but again, hockey will be there to run the lights and the music to make it a fun event. Hopefully they can do something like that about once a month or so to attract people in.
If hockey is willing to run their equipment, I think myself it would be a great thing. I hope that it turns out to be a full house on the 20th. And as far as soccer goes, it's pretty much shut down for the season. We plan on spending some time out there trying to familiarize the new person for that position, get them familiar with where everything's at and how to operate some of it. You know, there's only so much we can do with the irrigation blown out, but he can still see the controls and how they work and where they're at and where the irrigation's at, the shop and everything else in the shop and how to use the equipment and stuff like that. We can go over most everything. Hopefully prepare them as good as we can to hit the ground running in the spring, because spring is very busy. And that's all I got.
Okay. Any questions of either Thomas or Roger? Again, Steve's not here tonight. And he had some notes on here as well. And you know what I did? I missed putting them on here. Okay. I make mistakes. But basically, they're on to looking at starting the boulevard tree removal stuff too, in between other things, as well as some cleanup of other trees that need to take place. We've talked extensively regarding the trees that are out near Camparoya. You can't believe how much they're going to have to open up in order to take those trees that are hung up, or the big dead ones that are in there. It'll change the look of it, but there's nothing you could do to take down, to rid it of those dangerous trees. So it'll be a few days work in each spot.
On that grant, how much does that grant cover? Park equipment right there.
240 trees.
So
Is that what we're talking about? You talking about the LWCF or the
40%,
trees
right?
grant?
what's that?
Are you talking about the LWCF
We're
playground
up to
grant?
94,000.
That's half.
Half. Do we get grants on every one of them parks? Refresh my memory.
I aim to get grants on all of them.
On all the
Yeah.
playground equipment?
Yeah.
Is it all 50-50 or matching?
It's 50-50.
Have we ever been turned down?
We've been delayed, but not outright turned down on the playground grants. On the trail grant, we got rejected last year on that railroad trail, but this year we came in and got 1/3 of the cost, which it adds to it, but council opted to not do it next year because they thought they'd be funding a lot less than that. But that grant is good through 2027, so they have the opportunity to look at it again next year.
Mm-hmm.
Trees grant, about 1/3 of that is done. About $30,000 worth of the trees out of a $90,000 grant have been done in year one. I mentioned here first cycle, and majority of those are out by the cemetery. Some along the south trail at the lake, and a few in the older part of the cemetery as well, and one outside of City Hall. Beavers, as Steve reported last month, are no more out there. Cadwell, we had last week. Somebody spotted a young coyote out near the dog park, and within 20 minutes, we had somebody calling up here wanting to know if they could use chasing dogs to go out there and get them. And I said, I didn't even call the guy back. And police chief said, no, let's not go that direction. He says that's not good for community. They go, yeah. They don't need that. But I haven't heard any reports of that one being around again. It was a young one, probably attracted to the smells of a dog park, and I saw one photo of it, and it looked like a fox kit. It was so small. And as Steve explained, being a farmer, he said it's about the time of the year when they get kicked out of the dens. They're just looking for their way. I did bill out all of the remaining unpaid 5 individuals who hadn't paid yet for boat dock or lift storage. 2 of those have since paid. There's 3 more that are still out there. They're due by the end of the month. There's 3 agreements for you to look at tonight, and actually several more than that to sign. 3 of them we have signed from the other half, but there's some for you to look at tonight. In addition to the one that I revised for you with vending. Wish I could increase this one. But because water rates went up so much, we needed to look at, and we didn't do it as frequently as what, how should we say, we were hoping to not have to raise the rates again at the aquatic center. But given what utility rates go up, there's a need. So that's on here tonight. We've gone through this, so we're on to the next agenda item. I'm sorry I kind of stepped in where you were supposed to go, Luke.
Nope, that's fine.
Okay.
We want to look at the aquatic center rates. This rate is what you're looking at here is just for public use, right? This
Correct.
is rates just for public,
And
not
this is
for
the outdoor aquatic center. Yep.
Okay, so looking at rates forward, like as far as like Dakota Riptide rates increasing potentially.
That's something different, but
When is that? When?
We're going to meet with the Riptide president here next week.
Okay, and I can't remember when their contract is.
It's January 1.
January.
Yep.
Okay.
So we're gonna, and that does not factor into this at all.
Is there any other organizations that would be affected by a rate increase from the outdoor pool besides the swim club?
No, there's not. And the averages that are at the bottom, that's 8 of the, we'll call them like-size pools that are in South Dakota, just so you guys know. So if you look at it, we are well within the ranges that that every one of the other ones is at too.
And that's current rates. That's not looking at what they're doing for next year either.
Yep.
So when you look at 2025, that was their 2025 family. We are in here at 167. That average is at 207.95. Individual day pass, we're at 6, looking at 7. Day pass is there, and the average was 875. And that's comparable facilities, not taking into account Sioux Falls.
Right. That's not taking into account like the Midco or anything like that.
Are you comfortable with those rate increases covering the additional costs?
These,
Yeah.
a portion of the additional costs. Yeah. So
20% would
right.
might come closer, but when you look at a 20%, you're going to look at diminishing returns on your usership.
Yeah, this number we picked as the balance, right? Don't think we're going to lose memberships. Do need to increase revenue. You know, that's the fact. And but it's not the addition. If we had those rates this year, would not have covered the overage that we have in utilities.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was wondering about is how does that compare with the additional costs that we incurred this year?
What was the number of individual passes sold last year?
The individual day passes,
Yeah.
or
Individual day passes.
I'll send you that, Luke. I don't have that off the top of my head.
I'm just wondering.
You guys are doing quick math and wondering if we need to adjust further.
Well, if it's not, I don't know, is $8 out of line there? And I don't know what the number is as far as how much more that would be if number, I don't know. It just seems.
We're not new either.
Yep.
And that's the other thing you look at is obviously they can't just get in the car and saying we're going to the Midco today or we're going wherever else might have a new one because there's travel expense, but
And maybe that number is so low it doesn't. I don't know.
do kids show up with 20s to spend for the day and spend the rest on concessions? Or are they down to nickels and dimes when they're paying
No,
for the
they usually have 10s or 20s.
Okay.
You know, and Luke, I think you're along the right line. I mean, if we did go to 8, that would still be well within what the average is. If you want to know, I can't give you the individual number, but I can tell you from a revenue perspective, we were equal on memberships and day passes. Like we do about the same number
Total revenue.
of total revenue. Yes.
So the higher you drive the memberships, the more you're going to get in day passes.
Yep. And the fact that we're balanced almost, and it's like within $1,000 of each other, the fact that we're balanced shows you that we're probably in a good pocket right now.
Yeah.
That's not to be confused with rec center.
We're not talking rec center. Nope. You guys already did that one.
So this is
I meant even usership. It's
No. That's not the same as rec center. No.
so. What is the? You got? I can't remember what you guys have that window of opportunity to get the.
The scholarship rate.
Is that what the scholarship is on the bottom? Just that first window of.
Either that, or if they have Medicaid and their family is flagged scholarship, then they could still purchase that after that.
Okay, so that family scholarship is if you buy it before.
It's either
Whatever
that
they-
week
okay.
or if you are a scholarship
Okay.
account at the rec center. Yes.
so when somebody buys during that week or that pre-week, is it committed to scholarship rate?
Yes.
Okay.
Any further discussion or questions? I guess I'll go ahead and make a motion to accept the proposed rate increase for the aquatic center.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried.
You got 10 minutes.
Concession of the hockey facility agreement.
Roger, you want to highlight what changed in here? Basically, this went from 350 to 400.
I believe it was 350 or 375.
They do their own concessions hockey.
We raised that damage value from 5 to 1,000.
As far as damage in the concession stand, we're having them list the city as additional insured when it comes up here into the comprehensive general liability insurance, and the rest was real nominal. There's some that really don't click right now in terms of the schedule and who hands who the schedule, but overall it's implying that there's a master schedule that he's requiring, but that's not necessarily the case because right now concessions is only handled during hockey events, so they don't provide us a schedule of saying when they're going to come in. They just work during hockey events, and sometimes they cut off a little bit early, but we leave it in case that ever changes. In the interest of keeping our quorum, we have one person that needs to leave at 6:45, so I'm going to roll through these to the point where when we still need a quorum for these action items, we'll still have a quorum here.
I'll make a motion to approve the operation agreement for Mitchell Hockey.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carried. Lucky Devils adult hockey facility use agreement.
Man, that's little.
This is just that like state tournament, right?
It's
that-
actually their whole season
Oh, okay.
because they practice.
They
Correct.
practice and play every Wednesday night.
Okay.
And then to cover their tournament that they do then, like the end of the season.
Yep.
One of the concerns with this one is the roof project in the spring and making sure that they still have the building.
And that's going to be up to the contractor in the whole process of when this comes around, because if it looks like it's going to be great come March 15, and then all of a sudden April 1, they say they want to have at it, but who knows if there's going to be a late season snowstorm. If I were a roofing contractor, I would not open up a roof on April 1 to think that I'm going to have smooth sailing for the rest of the winter or the spring.
So what was their concern, Roger?
That's their biggest fundraiser of the year for this group.
Oh, the event after. When is that?
It's
April 10th through the 12th this year.
Oh, okay. But that does not affect, obviously, the agreement. Like if they weren't in there using it during that time, they wouldn't be paying for. They're just saying they're worried about that,
Well,
not being able to potentially host that.
I'm not sure how aware they are that this is a potential problem. I have talked to Stacy about it. I do not know how big of a concern this is. I don't know if it's even likely to happen that they have a problem with it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the agreement doesn't really bear
No.
It
any
shows you have
issues.
access to it, but if it's not there to have access to,
It's not like they're paying for something up front that
No,
gets canceled and we're gonna owe them money back. It's not.
no, they'll just get
Yeah.
invoiced the hours they use.
They get invoiced after the year is over, and then yeah.
Are there any changes to the agreement from last year?
The 350 to 400 as
Oh,
far
that's
as that amount, and the damage per the concession stand itself went from 500 to 1,000 in terms of when we would fix it. If for every little nick and scuff, we're not going to go in and make repairs. It's a matter of it needs to be a little bit larger than what was originally listed. And then I mentioned the additional insured.
You're talking for the concessions versus.
Oh yes, I'm sorry. On here, was there a per dollar or per $2 per hour increase?
Yes, the rate went up from 81 to 83.
And was the per athlete the same, or did that go up $1?
No, that did go up too. Yes.
$1.
Those are the only changes, those two rate changes?
As far as I know, Jeremy actually updated these contracts before he left.
I saw this one was dated September 5th, if
Yep.
I remember right. So I'll make a motion to approve the
I'll second.
policy. Yep. Sorry.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried. Palace City Youth Football Facility Agreement.
This one too was approved verbally a while ago, as you can see on here. And we were hoping to have their president sign it tonight. He had. I had documents sitting on my desk that no longer had to come to the board that I disposed of. Oh, Sean, you caught him?
No, I didn't catch him.
Somebody got him.
Or this is the copy that I had. This isn't the one that's on here. So I could print off that one to have him sign it versus signing a blank one. Or we could just have him sign this one and then have Sean sign it again. We'll go there. Okay.
Any changes here?
Roger, do you recollect?
No, I think it's just the same fee changes.
The same dollar per kid.
They never use the lights anyway, right? I mean, not that's on there, but I don't think they go at night.
I don't believe so either.
Yeah.
Our youth football goes at night, but I don't think Palace City does.
I'll motion to approve the Palace City Youth Football Agreement. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
One more to get through yet.
Figure Skating Facility Agreement.
This one again is Jeremy updated this one. I know the fees changed, along with in line with all the rest of them.
Per athlete.
Yeah, and they match the other,
The hockey one.
correct? Yeah, they were. No other changes, right? Besides the.
I'll make a motion to approve the figure skating club use agreement.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
You got to get going at them.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna review the amended mobile vendor application permit.
So I had to shrink the print even more. Thank you, Adam. What I amended was on the back here where it talked about within 200 yards of the entrances whilst in the park, which means they can do whatever they want outside, well, within reason. If they can be in the street or the right of way, they can be in a private yard, but we can restrict only within the park. Same here. This one didn't change at all. And these are not in that area. They're within the park as well. They're allowed in those parking lots, so it's not an issue. The other piece where I talked about a secondary vendor, oh, I wish it was on my screen. Entity owning or renting on-site concession stand is considered to be the primary vendor. Secondary, complementary, or substitute vendors may be considered if in agreement with both primary vendor and the park and rec director.
Yeah, I like that.
Which means we aren't pushing out primary vendor when it comes to Cadwell softball complexes or baseball, whatever they're used for. We're just allowing an opportunity for somebody else to be there, provided it does not conflict with the primary vendor. Or who's ever in my chair. I did not put it on here for approval because my one question mark yet is when it comes to Cadwell Stadium, and if somebody, be it another baseball association, wants to vend, if they happen to have a tournament on the same weekend as the state tournament and their tournament was on Drake. I just didn't want to get caught in that pickle on this one.
I don't think that would pertain to this, though, would it?
Well, it says not within 200 yards of
Yeah, but
Cadwell Field concession stand.
But if you have somebody over at Drake that is considered the primary vendor over there,
Right.
this would,
It's not another one sitting in the parking lot.
yeah, I don't see how that would pertain to.
Right. And I'm running out of size. It'll take another 2 sentences or so to get that done. And I'm down to a 10.5 pitch right now.
Now, I guess not. Whoever were to run the concession stand over at Drake, I don't think there would be any youth stuff going on that time of year.
Like during the state tournament?
Yeah.
They leave it,
No, what I'm saying is that youth, like at the A, B, and C over there, even if there was an event, I don't think there ever is, that they would have something open over there, they would still be the primary vendor open for those events. I don't think it would.
And if somebody's on ABC, like Clifford, who was here last year, he would be on that trail between ABC to make that happen. And to me, that's not competing with what's on the yard.
Well, what I'm just saying is if there's considered a primary vendor at Drake that's paid, because the city doesn't operate that. It's not one that gets operated, so they would be considered the primary vendor. I don't think they wouldn't even, they're not filling out this application. Correct?
No,
They're filling out another contract.
a rental agreement. An agreement for that facility.
Yeah.
Stand.
So, yeah.
This is to restrict or to allow others to be within that area, restrict them from or allow them in.
Yeah. So So maybe maybe I misunderstood what you were saying. So if there was another tournament going on at Drake during the state am, and that association wanted to have a coffee truck
It's
out in the parking lot, that could not be
They
the
don't have
case.
anything going on Drake because they use the field
For
to the
A's.
state am.
Well, for the second, yeah.
No,
The
but
second.
they use it for infield.
That's right. They use it
The
for
whole
warm ups, don't they?
What's that?
They use it for warm ups or for.
I don't know if they did
Sure,
they.
use cages, sure. Take
Oh, the kid, yeah,
cages, infield. Nope, there's nothing on Drake in the state am.
Okay.
yeah.
So
There
will
has.
never be a
And the
conflict.
second Friday, they have second Friday and Saturday morning. I think Saturday morning, didn't they? Yeah. Then they have the A's over there.
Right. And what Luca just said, that's where my mind had been going. We're allowing a vendor to be over there, but it's not even a mobile vendor. It's somebody else who'd be renting that facility, so it doesn't conflict.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with this document.
Yeah.
Thank you for setting our thoughts straight on that.
But I didn't know if you were talking about if there was another one and they wanted to have a coffee truck over there, that would kind of inflict on.
Yep.
What was going on at Cadwell.
Right, and that the document would cover.
Yeah.
So, as it sits, it may be ready to come back next month for approval, unless you guys see something with that wording yet. It's basically the same, other than whilst in the park, and the secondary vendor allowing an opportunity if it agrees with the primary vendor and, again, me.
Any other questions or discussion?
Again, this one isn't for approval, it's just
Yeah.
to look at.
All right. Discuss possible rec center discount for park board.
This got visited after a meeting, city council meeting, week and a half ago, where it got brought up that Golf and Cemetery Board has for a long time allowed itself to have discounts to the golf course for single memberships. So you as a park board actually have the authority to provide yourself a discount should you think that appropriate. Not to the golf course. The discussion was turning toward rec center. There's not enough in here to this. I didn't have it for an action item tonight, but this is open for discussion.
It's kind of strange to you have the authority to raise rates, but give yourself a discount so you don't have to. Which to me isn't very fair. Granted, I'm only here for a couple of years, but
How many people on the park board are members for it even affects?
Is it 4?
Thomas?
I thought it was 4.
There's 3 right now. Yeah, 3 that are current members.
I know we discussed this in the past a couple of times. I don't know if it was when you were here, Kevin, or not.
No.
Yeah, it would. I mean, it was brought up the same thing when it was brought up. I don't know if it was discussed before about the. I think one of the other discussions that was brought up were the part-time staff at the golf course, maybe that were.
That was another discussion item, and they're not allowed by city policy to have
Yeah,
membership privileges at all.
yeah, and then I just remember that as being part of the discussion, but.
do city employees have a contract or whatever part of their employment to get discounts?
It's something that's offered as a part of our membership program, to where they could get a discount on the golf course or the rec center,
But only full time.
but only full time.
It does not apply to our part time staff, no.
Yeah, I think the part of the discussion item the last time we discussed this was just if it was going on other places within the boards. within the city that it was.
And
You
I can tell you that somebody who works in Volga, South Dakota, has been emailing around to a lot of the directors in the state park and rec directors to ask about their boards and if they're volunteer or if they get paid, how much do they get paid? And I guess this wouldn't be a payment, so that's not something that they necessarily would have disclosed in those group emails that were going on. But nobody came forward and said they're getting paid, and nobody, of course, brought up something like this. But again, it's not a payment; it's a discount. This isn't forcing anything on anybody; it's just a matter of it was just brought forward for a visit.
Yeah, I don't really. I mean, I don't think it's really fair for us to make the decision if we
Right.
were to receive a discount. I mean,
Right.
So
If it was like decided or recommended by somebody else.
Right.
I'd gladly accept it, but I'm not going to sit here and say, I deserve this much of a discount.
Yeah.
Okay.
that's not why I'm here to ask for a discount for the, if it's presented to you, then yeah.
Right.
But
I think we can leave it at that. If it goes outside of this room to be recommended, then we'll see where it goes. We're on next meeting day. And if we look at the calendar behind you, January 26th. January 8th. Is there something crossed out on there?
crossed out 10 a.m.
Okay. Must be a snowstorm coming for that.
January 8th, 6 o'clock.
I'll mention in advance that I will not be around for the February meeting on the scheduled date. Yes, I would, but I wouldn't be here the week prior on February 5th, 6th to prepare a packet to go out. Excuse me. Yes, that's the week I will not be here, which means I couldn't send a packet out on the 5th, 6th in preparation for the meeting the week after. So hoping to have it the week after that yet, being on that Thursday, are you saying the 19th? But it's not asking to set it now. It's just kind of steering that direction in hopes that we can do that.
Anything else? All right, meeting adjourned.